I'd say my worries, if I had to balance them out, are way more on the offensive side of the ball. Just a lot more unknowns floating around on that side for my comfort level, especially playing Ohio State week 1. No easy entry into the season. You could play bad but still win, knock the rust off. Nope, doesn't exist. So I talked with Nick Shepkowski at Fighting Irish Wire last week about what our current quarterback situation looks like. Today, I wanted to focus on how to make the weakness of this offense a strength, or at a minimum, a neutral factor, not an obvious, clear negative. Now, when I say something's an obvious, clear negative, picture our offensive line most of the first half of last year. That's what I mean. Like, you watch a game and it jumps out to you. This area the team can't compete. That's how bad the offensive line was early last year. That's what we got to avoid with these wide receivers. All right? So we all know the issues the last staff had with recruiting, developing wide receivers. Now those guys are gone, but we need to make what we do have work until Tommy, and Stuckey have more time to recruit, restock, and flip the barren, embarrassing wide receiver room. So how in the short term do we make the current dynamic, which is honestly not any good, decent? Let's start here. If Buckner is healthy and mobile and anything close to what we hope he's going to be, that helps. That helps right away. Okay? If he's not, you got a whole bunch more problems. Don't even get me started on what happens if a couple wide receivers get hurt. You're going to have literal walk-ons out there playing starting receiver at Notre Dame. It just makes me nervous. So can't afford a bunch of injuries because you literally don't even have enough bodies to fill those spots at wide receiver. So, but if Buckner's healthy, mobile, and decent, that's going to be a good start. Number 2 is I fully expect our offensive line to be way better than last year right away. Right away. And that's going to help anything you want to run or do. Maybe we're more run heavy this year. Accommodating for that. Good offensive line. Feel pretty good about running backs. Quarterback with legs. Maybe ease him in with a more run-based game plan for this season. I don't know. But I think we're going to feel pretty good about the running back group, although the Diggs injury hurts that feeling. But all these things will help. An upright and mobile, functioning Buckner. Better offensive line play right away. Okay. Michael Mayer is a monster centerpiece you feel great about in the passing game. All these factors are pluses and a good start to help balance out the inefficiencies I see in the wide receiver room. So now let's get into how I'd maximize what you have as pass catchers. Number 1, use Michael Mayer everywhere all the time. Short passes, long passes, outs to the sideline, passes deep right up the seam. Use. Throw. Force feed him. I don't care. I don't care. I say all the time, there's no amount of footballs thrown to that guy that I'm ever going to say it's too many. That number does not exist. It does not exist. Use Michael Mayer every chance you get. Then guess what that builds you? That builds you a scenario where a defense has to spend extra time, energy, and bodies covering him. That opens things up for all the actual wide receivers. So that's number one. Lean on your biggest asset, and that is Mayer as a receiving weapon. That's what it should all be built around to me. All that attention on him. It's going to make it easier for those wide receivers to exist. All right? Number two, use the running backs wisely and uniquely. Use Tyree as a pass catcher when and if you can. Spread guys out, confuse a defense, have more than one guy out there. You just might have to get creative. But do not, for whatever reason, do not think you cannot lean on Chris Tyree in the receiving game. That can be an extra weapon for you. Number three. This is tough. I don't like number three, but it's where we're at. Veteran wide receivers need to assume leadership roles, both in terms of production and locker room leadership. Here's what's tricky about that. If we weren't in the dynamic we're in, I would be saying veteran wide receivers need to make plays or lose your job. You're not getting any more snaps if you do not perform and get open and catch the ball. I don't even think we could say that because there isn't enough bodies. So I don't even think you could say Lindsey, Wilkins, Davis, whatever. If you guys aren't performing, you're going to lose your spot to a younger guy. No. The wide receiver room is that barren. I do not even think you could use that as a threat. So I can't go there. So then I just have to say, there is nobody else. They're not going to lose their jobs for performance. So you just have to be a leader in the locker room and make plays. Lindsey, Davis, Wilkins, stay healthy, make plays. I've taken a lot of crap over the years for how in love I've been with Braden Lindsey's speed when he's healthy and a full go. But that's been the problem. He's been healthy and a full go like 2 games out of his whole career. And I'm not blaming the guy for injuries. It's just very frustrating that you know he has the speed to take a top off a defense, but he's rarely healthy enough you could do it and use it. Very frustrating. So, number one, use Mayer all over the field. Number two, use the running backs uniquely and wisely. Number three, veteran wide receivers need to step up, make plays. Make plays. Number four, Styles commands extra attention this year justifiably. Continue to excel and be the leader of this group and the guy. As far as these wide receivers go, that is the guy. Styles, stay healthy. You're in big, big trouble. That guy goes down. Tough. Matt Salerno, you're going to have a lot of that. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm not here for it. Number five. So, Styles, keep doing what you're doing. Stay healthy. Be the go-to number one guy. Number five. Colsey, time to flash like Styles did last year. Jaden Thomas, same thing. We need you. We need you. There's going to be a lot of opportunities. We need you to step up. Number 6, Merriweather needs a big freshman year. Listen, Merriweather is going to play a lot, and he may even start at times as a true freshman. That is not ideal, but it's where we are. It's a bad spot to be in as a program. It's a great spot to be in for Merriweather personally. If I was this offensive staff, I'd say to him, you know, we're retooling this wide receiver room. You're a part of it on the early wave. You're going to get every chance possible to claim snaps as a true freshman, and tell him, go out there and just make plays. Make plays. Just like Mike Valeni said, make plays. Okay? So that's a guy that can make all of this look a lot better. You just can't count on it yet because nobody's seen it. So you can't count on a great rookie year and a lot of production out of Merriweather, but I can hope and pray for it because we're going to need it. Because we're going to need it. Again, not a great spot as a program. Great spot for this guy individually. And I want him to know that and keep it in mind and go make plays. This roadmap I just drew out is unreliable, unknowns, injuries could derail it. I hate that this is where we're at, but it's where we're at in the moment. And you got to do what you got to do. Spread the load around from where you are strong, and then pray for some surprisingly good results from some unknowns. It's got to be a full team approach here to get this offensive operation serviceable till the new recruiting kicks in, which is coming soon, but we got to survive till we get that to that point. Worth noting in this, I truly think Notre Dame can win most of their games this year, even with an iffy and really questionable wide receiver group. I said most, not all. Okay? I said most, not all. You will need an actual offensive passing game you can rely on and count on to beat the best teams we play next year. You can win 10 games probably with the bad receiving core and doing everything else we're going to do good and be good at. You're not beating Ohio State if you can't pass the ball to wide receivers. You're not. You're not going to beat Clemson if you can't throw the ball at all. Like, you're just going to have to. So, can we get that? I don't know. Wait and see. Can we get that week 1 against Ohio State? Nobody knows, and it's just going to drive us all crazy till we see it play out. Maybe, just maybe. I'm open to this. Maybe. Everybody develops. We're pleasantly surprised. Merriweather's good. Lindsey's healthy. Burning past the safety. And you got Tyree out there in the slot, and you got Davis is feeling good. Wilkins has good hands. Whatever. Styles evolves into a playmaker. They have to shade a safety over for all that. Colsey matures. But the issue is, these are all maybes. These are all I hopes. These are not I knows. Okay? This is not Ohio State's wide receiving core, where you know it's going to be good. You know what you're going to get. You know the level of production you're expecting week in, week out. Those are proven winning elite entities. We just don't have that. And we'll get there. This is only going to be a problem very, very short term. All right? The lack of good recruiting and development, some of it in the secondary, all of it in the wide receiver room, that's all over. So that's good. That's over. This is never going to be a problem again in the Freeman era other than this year. After that, he's going to have talent coming in. Reese going to have talent coming in. Stuckey's going to have talent coming in. You just got to figure out a way to get through until then. That's the good news in all this. This is a short-term problem. Thanks to the swamp thing, this is what you got against Ohio State. All right? But the good news is this is only going to be a one-year problem. Then you're going to have actual depth of athletes that can go out there and build Notre Dame a representative wide receiver core. It astounds me that we're talking about the University of Notre Dame and we barely have enough scholarship wide receivers healthy to field a team in a bowl game. That's absurd. It's dereliction of duty by the old staff that got us into this situation. It'll be over fast, but you got to patchwork it together to play enough winning ball till the reinforcements come. And that's the other thing I got to remind everybody of in Notre Dame land. Next year, passing game's bad, low numbers, third and long, nobody gets open, throw it 20 rows up and punt. All those kind of things might happen. We're going to be mad. Marcus is on the sideline. Don't be mad at him about that. Don't you dare be mad at him about that. That's Swamp Thing's fault. Everybody needs to know that in Notre Dame land. I'm already getting sick of all of the weight of Ohio State week 1 being on Freeman. The deficiencies Notre Dame has going into that game are not that guy's fault. He didn't create them. He's got to work through them and solve those problems. I'm just asking Notre Dame people, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. More people are getting an idea now of just how ineffective Brian Kelly's recruiting operation was in key areas. Not all. Key areas, though. The ones that win you playoff games. Elite quarterback play. Elite secondary players. Not one, not Brandon Joseph, not Kyle Hamilton, not Julian Love alone. I'm talking multiple corners and safeties that are locked down, no fly zone. All right? I'm just asking, keep that in perspective. What a bad job that staff did overall in some of these position groups. Wide receiver being the number one example. Understand if you're frustrated next year, so is Marcus. And he's working his ass off every day, recruiting his way out of Brian Kelly's bad operation. Have a little patience and understanding. Give Marcus a year or two. You aren't even going to recognize the roster. You're going to have talent and depth everywhere. We just need to do enough next year to put together a good, strong year, keep the recruiting momentum going. So, overall, there's a path here for this group to be effective. But a lot of little things have to go into it and all work out. It could happen, but I'm nervous. You get a couple injuries or something, there's going to be nobody left. Nobody left. Walk-ons. Salerno, the guy that only fair catches punts, going to be Notre Dame wide receiver starting. It should just never, ever, ever look like this. It should just never come down to this. This is why I wanted Brian Kelly gone. So I'm thankful he is. And God bless Marcus being able to dig his way out of this fast as can be. So just understand the dynamic here, all right, in that room and what has happened with recruiting and development and lack of it. It's all over now, but you got to get through this year with it and then get into the new age and talent and depth everywhere. So there are ways to try and mask this shortcoming on the roster, but it could be rough at times. Everybody needs to understand that's a Brian Kelly issue. Good night.